Moments away from first serve. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. First for USC at 8-1. Caleb Blanchett, Johnny Dykstra will be at the libero. Foley at one outside hitting position along with Klein. And in the middle, Smith and Tompkinson, national championship last year. Andrew Rowan, speaking of number one in the nation in assists. Chris Connolly, outstanding libero. David Decker at the oppo. Kelly, Micah Wan-Diallo in the middle along with Cameron Thorne and Zach Rama, the played superbly at BYU so many years ago. Errant pass to start things off. Good swing to get UCLA ahead in the point. Out of system and quickly out of the middle of North Carolina. UCLA looked like they were in trouble, but here's Decker at the service line. Another pretty good transition stat and chopping line, nicely done. Number 12, Sean Kelly. Kelly averaging 3.4 kills per set, hitting almost 400. Nicely done out of the middle. That is our first look out of Tompkinson. Parker Tompkinson, 7 feet, sophomore middle blocker out of Carl's. Well, and the other middle blocker for USC is much, much smaller at 6'11", mind you. High flying once again, offense through the roof for both of these teams. That is Sean Kelly again. Yeah, that was number 2. Ball State comes in at number 3. Excellent serve reception out of the back row. That is Sterling Foley, who was dug, but that is a 3-meter line violation. You got to take off from behind the line there.
And if you're wondering why that number in the loss column is still the same as the one last year, it's because they haven't lost yet this year.
Dylan Klein flying high, wearing number 1 in Cardinal. 6'6" senior out of New is an outside hitter so far. That is a crazy number. I'll ask you about that when we really good passing right now by both teams. Swing over the top, beautifully done by Noah Roberts.
The UCLA side knows the ball's going to Dylan Klein, and for him to still put up those kind of numbers is just remarkable.
Looking on Rama, nicely passed. Good block deflection and slow down. Coming quickly to Klein. Ripping inside the 3-meter line. Now in his 11th year. He wouldn't quite on our long and very interesting phone call agree with me, but I think this is the best team he's had in just over a decade as the head coach now for USC. And we should remember Jeff Nygaard, one of the best teams. We'll see as the season goes along. Working on Rama, and he's been passing the ball exceptionally well. And there for the tap down. Zach Rama, 6'8", senior out of Phoenix, Arizona, an All-American last year.
With respect is even more impressive in a way.
Rich, I agree with you because, I mean, Ohio State has won a couple of championships. Penn State has come along as well and become a real force. Lewis out of the Midwest as well. Loyola. BYU. We never can never forget. You won't let me forget the Cougars.
Try as you might, Paul. I will not let you forget.
These two teams have met for the national championship on 4 occasions. 1979, it was you. Oh, good block. 3 blockers up on the back row combination. Very nice set in transition. I say that too soon. That was way too tight to the net, even for Noah Roberts to go up and get it.
By the Trojans.
USC receiving with 4. That ball set too tight as well. You need to give some players some distance, particularly against this block.
And that's a struggle with location at the setter position. That's maybe Rowan's only weakness at times. That one was a little bit low for the high-flying Rama.
Really good pass by the libero Connolly, the transfer out of a long year under John Hawks.
Yeah, and there's a look at Coach Hawks. I mean, when you got a guy that's hitting the ball above 11 feet, you got to get him up there.
There is Cam Thorne, 6'4", out of Hollywood, Florida, transfer from Grand Canyon.
And kind of smaller, more athletic middles out there. They've got to cover so much ground so quickly.
Oh, good blocking so far for the Trojans.
4 contacts, yeah.
That is 4 contacts, and very nicely done. Good job on the outside by the overpass. Chance for USC to add to their lead. Flying Connolly getting after that tip. I'll tell you, I thought that.
And he did it with a little flair either.
You were all over that in 2008.
I was already standing there, Paul. I don't have the mobility that Connolly did.
Which means, are you saying you read the game better than he does?
No, I'm saying I had to make up for my inefficiencies.
There you go. Well, we got to compare, sort of one level of play to the same.
Well, I mean, certainly from the BYU days, it's massively different. We didn't see a lot of guys doing that UCLA's just constantly doing it. The pin's going over the...
When you won a gold medal in Beijing, how much different is it in terms of receiving pressure, service pressure at this level now in college volleyball?
Well, the approach to serving, I think, has changed a lot, not only in college volleyball, but international. I think that's kind of gone by the wayside. Yeah,
you know, that's in the trash bin of history.
You can see, you know, from some of the U.S. team's results at the Olympics that sometimes that can come back and bite them. But that serve is such a weapon.
Out of North Carolina, 15 matches last year. He was part of the championship team in 2024. Here's Wang Diallo. 12-11. Trojans leading it. They've had a couple of opportunities, and that's missed by Dykstra.
Interesting, but the kid's huge and he's up big, throwing it down.
I thought that was fine. That was a good aggressive offensive play. Dylan Klein with the ace working on Connolly.
Yeah, got the little touch, just, you know, it's...
So we have to remind people who David Lee and Ryan Millar are, the two starting middle blockers on your Olympic championship team.
Yeah, correct.
Both two of the best of all time ever for the United States at their position.
Yeah, kind of 6'7".
Well, I'm thinking of David Smith. Played in 4 Olympic Games at 6'6" maybe, and still playing at a very high level professionally, well into his late 30s in Poland. Good reception, and smartly off the block and out of bounds. And USC, statistically one of the top defensive teams so far this season in the country, and they're showing that early against UCLA, holding the Bruins to only 222 against 29 errors. That's pretty good pressure. Timing not there on the combination, and that ball missed out of bounds by Cam Thorne. No. Tied again. Rowan goes up to get that. Pretty good size setter is Andrew Rowan at 6'6". Nice read by Connolly. Back row combination where they're setting that ball so close. Perfect pass. Good blocking by the Trojans. They are huge up front in the middle. That's a poor set. Over the top of the block.
He's down. That's not good. Your middle blocker's got to be leading that and kind of vocalizing that everyone's up or everyone's down.
It's becoming a lot more common, particularly in the international game, which you do a lot of. The challenge system is so good international. There is Foley to serve for the Trojans. Dug by Dykstra is slowed. Klein on the outside again. Falling backwards. Kills per set better this year at 4.3 and for a higher average. Klein. Rama on the second contact.
That's double block.
Oh, it's a team game. I mean, this is the ultimate team sport. If you have a weakness, somebody will find it. What a reaction that time by Klein off the block deflection. And 3 monster.
Perfect 3-man execution.
Here is Decker, and missed that out of bounds. Serving numbers, that is error number 5 for UCLA against 1 ace. 2 aces for USC against 3 error blockers. As you pointed out, very, very deep team for Jeff Nygaard. Working on Klein. Boy, that ball was very tight to the net, but he has got a rocket firm. When we were talking about Dylan Klein, we compared him, and I think
he could certainly elevate. I think Klein is at his best when he's close to the net like he was there. Kind of work off the block.
Reed Pretty played his college volleyball at Loyola Marymount. On the national team, he won a gold medal in 2000 at the difference. Held on to that and pushed it smartly off the block. I'll tell you what, I love that call. I love that call.
The contact and wipe it, it's going to have to be retrained. Look at that serve.
Another 3-point advantage. USC clearly winning the serve and pass battle right now. That ball tight to the net and chopped over the top of the block. That's UC Irvine, and that is set point number 1, and that comes up well short for Klein, but still good margin for error. Now 3 more set points for the 5th ranked Trojans over the number 1 ranked and undefeated Bruins. Block out of the middle by Smith. What? You can't. Is that like side pocket as well?
Side pocket,
off the combination off the 8-ball. Pretty nice pass there. The serving is so tough that when you have a set just sort of up in the zone, that's a pretty good job fighting off this heat.
Yeah.
There is Tompkinson back to serve, coming with a jump floater. Boy, that looks so easy compared to some of the things we're seeing. Wong Diallo, another good block deflection. Roberts off the top of the block and down, number 2 in Cardinal.
And that's the block touches of the Trojans.
Tip off the edge of the block by number 21 in blue, Rama.
Yeah, he's got to heat it up a little bit for UCLA.
And starting with service pressure, and that's what UCLA, that's one of their major strengths, is right around the dial. They just serve the heck out of the ball. Dylan Klein, one-on-one. That's a win 99% of the time.
We have said his name plenty.
Hitting efficiency at .418 as an outside. Kind of unheard of numbers. To Rama. Back row combination, really good blocking. What a read that time by 16 Wesley Smith. Rama, over the top is Doug. Boy, that is a good swing out of the back row, and that'll score it. So we will take a look. If we play 5 sets, each team will get an additional challenge.
No net.
You get an additional challenge, but you can never have more than 3. 3-0 run here for USC on the side of the Trojans.
Yeah, I was going to mention that when you were talking about the difficulty of the schedule that the Bruins have faced. You know, you would think that that's switching to opposite for the gold medal match, no less.
During the gold medal match, Cam Thorne. He's been very quiet so far, artistically, if you will. First kill. Here's Rowan. 24 aces so far on the year. Dylan Klein. We're going to have a good one all night long. Andrew Rowan, first team All-American the last couple of years, but Caleb Blanchette, 6'5" junior out of Tennessee. Honorable mention. Just underway, second set. And that ball is missed out of bounds by Rama. The serve, not quite there. Still very much a work in progress for Zach Rama out of Phoenix, Arizona. There's Cam Thorne. Undersized and super quick.
Yeah, that's now a couple in succession. And number 1 in blue might be the hot hand right now for UCLA.
That ball off Pittsburgh is a National Player of the Year 2 times in a row. But there have got to be some players on the men's side. Dylan Klein, I'm referring to, that may get a very good look by one Karchkirai. That ball missed 5-21 and outplayed the Bruins. That's too tight. Setters are way too good at the joust because they get so much practice. Combination, moving the ball around. Attack that time out of the back row for Zach Rama. Decker again unloading, missed that out of bounds. High risk, high reward at the service line in men's volleyball.
Talking about the 7 cardinal sins of serving.
Forget about that. Those are no longer sins.
On by the
That's
wayside.
been torn up and burned, thrown in the trash can. Long 16 all. He is a very important cog for the Bruins. Perfect pass by Klein. Oh, what a block. Wong Diallo, number 8 in blue. Impressed by Caleb Blanchette so far at the setting position for the Trojans.
I like that he fed his big middle after UCLA stopped him the previous attempt.
Ace serve right into the seam.
Got to communicate pretty precisely.
Third ace for the Trojans. Back to Rama, pretty well received. Decker out of the back row. Heavy heat. What defense that time by Roberts of the Trojans. Oh, that's a smart. Roberts out of the back row, missed the block, and just over the end line. Good high, hard swing, but just run out of real estate. Both well below their season averages. Good pass by Dykstra. You know, when you're 6'11" or 7'5", 24. Perfect 4 for 4 so far. Really smart shot. Andrew Rowan, 33 in the second set. Dykstra fought that off. Out of the back row to Rama, dug by Dykstra. And Klein. I won't even.
Well, I think they're locating the ball a little bit better from Rowan. They're getting Rama heated up a little bit. They're getting their middles a little bit more active as well. So anytime you can kind of spread the offense out, that's critical against a blocking defensive.
See? Working consistently on Rama. David Decker and Wes Smith hanging in and defending it. You mentioned Rama starting to heat it up. 3 kills on 4 swings so far in the second set. Good reaction by USC. Roberts is slowed. And USC on the match, hitting 240. Cooled off significantly. Off the edge of the block and out of bounds. Big swing that time by Decker.
Yeah. Foley was trying to...
In this second set. Turn things around at the offensive end. Here's Decker, and missed that. That is service error number 11 for UCLA against one ace.
Not surprising to me, Paul.
Not all, but mind you, it's a specifically important number. That's a very doable pass, but Diallo missed it out of bounds.
I think that was a good connection. That's just, you know.
And just missed out of bounds by Wong Diallo, but USC will take it. They're back within 1. Really good diving pass. Dykstra's been good at the libero for USC. And Klein pushing the ball off the block and out of bounds. Here is Foley back to serve. 3-0 run for USA. Make it 4.
Yeah, that's
USC now with the momentum, and timeout called by the Bruins.
Finding that gap between the opposite step.
Run at 17-14, them trailing. Look at that pass. Rowan having to go up and push and shove on the joust. And again,
the rarely seen ball off the face of Tompkinson, and then he played it.
Like I said, I was kidding, but, you know, was he blocking it with his face? That's immediately tucked down inside by 19. Decker starting to really heat things up offensively. David Decker now 5 kills on 15. Here's Kelly. Nice block by Juan Diallo. 1-on-1.
He's doing such a nice job of going up once the...
Look at Klein pass the ball. I know that's a medium pass, but that serve was a rocket. Super smart shot by number 1.
Yeah, really good in his ability to push that.
You got to find another way. I just don't like that stat because it gives the block no credit whatsoever. Really good swing. David Decker heating it up here in the second set.
I mean, shape, everything. It's unbelievable.
Working on Klein. Out of system here. That's a poor set. That's better. Some room to swing, but Rama whiffed it out of bounds.
That's one of the hardest gigs in volleyball, too, the sub.
Well, especially when you're expected to come in and hit it at a 60 or 70 K.
Yeah.
Rama making it look easy off the left side. Bruins lead at 21-20. Speed changes in this second set. Back row combination. Dug nicely by Connolly. Very hittable ball.
I mean, he benefits, and that's the reason you want to put the ball close to the net for Klein, because if the block's not there, he can annihilate it. If it is there, he's done that already a couple times in this set.
11 kills now for Klein at Ball Evans. Good pokey that time in the back court, and a chance off the edge of the block by 12 Keller. That is really open on to serve now for the Trojans. Working on Kelly down the line. There's the hot hand. No question about that. David Decker, a little bit slow to start things off, but if numbers with 10 freshman Grayson Bradford out of Manhattan Beach, ABCA National High School Player of the Year on to serve. Huge serve off the bench cold. And tucked down inside Diallo. Kelly off the left side. Dykstra was there. I'd like to have that one back.
That was kind of a shoestring dig at
Set point number 1. Setter Blanchette was in the front court, and so Kelly closes it out. Tested once again, tested in the opening. They're still perfect at 14-0, their best start since 1998. That ball got to slow down Decker, and they do so to start things off. Klein with some help out of the middle by number 8, Parker. That ball served out of bounds. UCLA in the second set hit 452 after hitting a paltry, all credit to USC, 176 opportunities.
Yeah. The use of the word paltry there, Paul.
As opposed to?
As opposed to scant? I don't know.
Okay, that was good. But, you know, for the Bruins, probably in a set, probably one of their lowest numbers on the year. One and then another block.
And how about that? Switching Blanchette over.
Well, obviously, Jeff Nygaard likes that matchup, and Blanchette showing immediately that he can get some hands. Explain, Rich, why was it unusual that the setter would be out on the left side?
Well, I mean, especially since Klein was the one in front of him on the previous error.
That's a nice play by Blanchette. And predominantly, you want the setter on the right side, because if you do dig a ball and get into a rally, it's... Is that short for cheeky?
Cheeky, yeah.
Andrew Rowan can be an aggressive setter as well, so watch for that. Again, back at the service line, Rowan has not gotten it going. That's only the 10th attempt. Overpass and straight to the floor. David Decker will take that, give the assist to Andrew Rowan. Decker with his ace serve for Rowan, number 25 on the year.
Now, you mentioned the word elite in reference to his serve.
5th ace. Jeff Nygaard took a timeout to try to ice him a little bit. Oh, perfect pass by Dykstra. Dylan Klein. Man, he's got some hops.
You know you got hang time.
Wouldn't be there, but he just said, that's okay. I'll just jump my way out of this difficulty. Missed that ball out of bounds. USC has been better at the service line. You know, and aces and errors don't tell the story. It's what did your opponent pass around in the second. Good blocking out of the middle. Good work by Smith. One-on-one and got a piece of the block.
Single time there.
Foley's been quiet offensively, only 1 for 11 so far. Now Zach Rama serve. Take your pick which one you want to dial up, but that's something that
you're just a little bit.
Are you supposed to know?
Yeah.
When I'm standing on the tee box, all options are on the table.
My ball's going whichever direction the water is.
25-21 in the opening set. UCLA coming back in a tight one, 25-23. Another service error. Those are starting to pile up on both sides. UCLA now with 14 errors. The Trojans with 11. To do that again, that championship tournament is at UCLA. Fantastic rhythm offensively. Perfect offensive volleyball by the Bruins.
Yeah, it's
high flat. That's a really good swing. Maybe that will get Sterling Foley out there. Things have really tightened up at the offensive end. We'll give you those numbers both for the set and the match so far. What a block. Fantastic read by Tompkinson.
Tompkinson not fooled whatsoever.
USC hitting 302, UCLA now 285. The set tightening up once again. That was the first tie since 5-5. We've been going back and forth. And now the Trojans, now for the Trojans. Service ace. Not a lot of heat, but cutting it off short.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of placement over pace. Was committing it to memory.
Oh, smart shot. The joust comes again and pushing the ball off the block.
I'd have whispered, have a taste of your own medicine decline on that play.
Wow. That ball is killed, falling back that time was 21. One-on-one. Again, Caleb Blanchette has been really impressive to me at the setting position. And why not honorable mention All-American sets are. If you want to get a lot of points per set, you got to play long sets, and maybe the Trojans have not. Over the top of the block, Wong Diallo.
Yeah, smart little tap down into kind of the camp.
Pretty quiet. I'll look at Wong Diallo's numbers. He's got 3 kills on 11 swings, and Cam Thorne just 2 of 5. Oh, good block. Cam Thorne along with Rama.
Not allowed in our sport. A little chirping through the net never hurt anybody.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
That's a nice job by Blanchette, feeding the big man up high.
Parker Tompkinson comparing middles to middles, 3 of 8. Perfect pass. Nice play by Dykstra. And Klein just shoving the ball through the block now for his... That ball tucked inside. Cam Thorne right on cue, trying to get the middles a little more involved. And Rowan will go back to the line. Dialed up an ace. That is pretty well handled by Dykstra. Klein.
What it must be like to elevate to about 4 on to service reception. I mean, he's certainly physical enough. I think that skill right there is going to be an X factor too.
Again out of the middle, Wes Smith, 6'11" junior, and missed that out of bounds. It's going to be an interesting summer for both the men's and women's Olympic teams, because both coaches have told all of their players, veteran or otherwise, you got to be in the gym this summer, compete in VNL this summer, start building your team towards the Los Angeles Olympics. A lot of the veteran players on both the men's and women's side, Joe and Clyde, just missed that out of bounds. Several of the veteran men's and women's.
Out some great outside hitters at the World Championships late last year.
Young, and ended up finishing 4th. Good high swing. That's such a smart swing too. 0 errors, and that's out of bounds. Rama struggling from the service line. But you know, people don't know, maybe they don't know. Women's college volleyball, 15 subs. Men's college volleyball. Perfect pass by Rama. He'll also get a look for Karchkirai this summer. Foley. Very impressed with Wes Smith. Smart shot, recycle the point. And again. That ball is, that ball is down. It is now.
But do yourself a favor and Google Dmitry Muserski.
Oh, on the back row combination, Blanchette going to Klein again. Klein now with 16 kills.
On the 2004 Brazil Olympic team, they really started opening up those kinds of sets.
Ricardinho, Sergio, Jiba.
Ricardinho maybe, I mean, certainly in the conversation for best setter ever.
Off the block and out of bounds. So we are going down memory lane.
Yeah, well, I'll say something. Real position.
I can't argue with that. Yeah. At least so far.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, with all due respect to the current greats, Eric Shoji, of course, Grebennikov.
At least so far.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, with setter dug the ball, I mean, he was just unbelievable.
Third set, USC hitting 471, UCLA 350, so both teams. Klein again with an outstanding pass. Pass to attack, outstanding in both phases.
I've been kind of keeping an eye on that when he receives.
Boy, back-to-back serve.
Not good, but he's out kicking that thus far.
Here's Taliaferro. for the tap down. Very, very nicely done. Wes Smith is in performance by the junior. Trojans are 2 points away. Good block deflection. On target, Rama over the top, dug again by Dykstra. Kelly is dug, but Dykstra, this is who the Bruins want at the service line. Woo! Quick, high throw down out of the middle. And they only need the one. Sterling Foley, who'd been struggling early on in this match, found a couple of kills. Just underway here in the fourth. And immediately a chance for UCLA, and they get it from Rama. Rama now, they would like to get this man, Michael Wong-Diallo, along with Cameron Thorne, a little more involved in the offense. USC's middle blockers have been a little bit better for it in terms of the numbers. Rama stretching out that 23-24 before falling to the Long Beach State 49ers last year behind Moni Nikolov. Rama, did he get a piece of the block? Did not. Looking for Caleb Blanchette down the line and missed it.
For the Trojans, as they were on a little bit of a slide.
The moth just flew by. Was that a sparrow or a moth?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a large.
It could be. USC won the opening set 25-21. UCLA the second 25-23, and then the Trojans. Rama again. Nice dig by Dykstra. I don't know if Klein got a piece of that as well. So Klein, pass to attack, and Jeff Nygaard in his 11th year here at USC. Is it his best team? It certainly appears so, the way they're playing against UCLA so far.
Sets. Hey, we got to get Rama going because they're feeding him almost exclusively in the early part of this fourth set.
Well, Rama averaging 4.3 kills per set, which is a huge number, and hitting .404. Big block. One of the first
into Trojan airspace.
Excellent pass. Foley getting things, but a lot of that is in the hands of Andrew Rowan, the setter. With the fist, I think. That is a fister by Wes Smith, his 8th kill. UCLA must win. Perfect pass by Connolly. Back row combination, that's going to be 4 contacts. It was micro touch out of the middle. Klein with the service error. Boy, interesting match so far, Rich, between these two. USC hitting .330. Tough serve, but pretty well handled. Good first contact by Decker, and Rama one-on-one is stuffed by Foley.
That is a...
And that ball drifts just out of bounds. And starting to add up for both of these teams. UCLA, 2 service aces against 15 errors. USC, 6 aces. That's a big number. Kelly into the cross court. Good touch by Dykstra. Nicely dug by Blanchette, hustling at the defensive end. And missed out of bounds by Rama. Good looking offense, but that's a ball that he has got to put to the floor. You can't hit that. Fantastic swing by Wong-Diallo, and aggressive setting that time by Rowan into the middle. He scored 0 points in the attack phase. One-on-one. Rama. Good adjustment by Zach Rama, number 21 in blue.
I think for both of them, the serve's going to be kind of a deciding factor. They're both great offensive players, both very physical, of course, do the serve-receive game.
By USC. Men's college volleyball, you get 3 challenges to start the match, and as long as you were correct, you keep those 3. Let's listen in.
USC is challenging defensive touch off the block. After review, the call will stand. USC will lose its challenge.
Oh, wow. Well, there's a turn of events. Color.
But I'm not blaming Coach Nygaard. I'm blaming the officials. They got to move it on.
Right.
That ball thumped out of bounds. And missed by number 2, Noah Roberts. And the UCLA lead continues. You can see why Coach John Hunt.
Yeah, you feel bad for USC a little bit because things start to snowball against you when they could have and should have perhaps been different.
And that ball missed out of bounds. And maybe Coach, really good talent. One-on-one, and that ball chopped into the cross court for a much-needed side-out score for Sterling Foley in the USC. Attack errors and 3 service errors, and was hitting 0 here in the 4th. No wonder they were losing, and that's another 4th service error. Too many free points. And when you look at a team's resume, a little more help than the other. Perfect first contact by Klein. Oh, nice stab by Dykstra, but off the defense and out of bounds. Rowan trying to add to the biggest lead on the night for either team in this contest. That ball slipped crossbody off the block and out of bounds.
Yeah, how about the set from Noah Roberts?
And here is Parker Tompkinson with a jump floater, easily handled. If you're going to serve the jump floater, don't serve the libero. I used to say that in Beijing. Do not serve Lamborn. Do not serve Rich Lamborn. Fifth match this season for Dylan Klein with 20+ kills.
Kind of more errors than he'd like to see next to the kill total, but he's steadied out big time.
Cam Thorne with a kill. Here's Trent Talafiero. That is so good. What a delivery that time by Blanchette. I know Smith is a big target, but that's not easy.
It isn't easy, and it's...
Come back and apply some pressure to the Bruins. Yeah, going more middle. Wong Diallo on the gap.
USC, you got to keep the ball off Connolly.
UCLA out of Naples, Florida, transfer from Long Beach State. Won a national championship with the Beach last year. Another off the edge and out of bounds. Some of the pin blockers for UCLA. There's some work to be done. Nice pass by Kelly. Ooh, wow, rare unforced error. David Decker, one-on-one out of the right back, the D zone. Look at this screen deployed by the Trojans. Supposed to be against the rules. Not very often enforced. That was, this ball's got to go. That was back on Kelly. And well left by the Trojans. Kelly wants a challenge. Sean Kelly saying, wait a minute, we got to take a look at that.
That looked like it was long from here, but
Ball was in.
I'm going to not consider that we were wrong on the last one just because
We weren't.
Yeah.
We weren't.
It's awfully close.
After review, the call is confirmed. UCLA will lose its challenge.
All right. Well, so color me 0 for 2.
One of the UCLA assistant coaches who's got some room to breathe.
And if you're UCLA, you have to consider that, 1-1 as far as the challenges go.
Oh, what a dig that time by Klein, but just couldn't get behind it. Juan Diallo is... Well, he is going to have a very, very bright future. I talked to Coach Hawks a couple of weeks ago before I had UCLA hosting Ohio State, and knows that number 20 in blue is a new record.
Yeah, that sounds like it. I mean, that's a lot of volleyball.
It was almost 2 full sets in one. That ball tipped out of bounds by Thorne. Good blocking. Foley. Decker gets himself out of trouble and the Bruins.
He's kind of cooled off since that second set.
Really good in reception and good with the eye.
Sometimes that's just as difficult, deciding whether a ball's in or out when it's coming at that pace.
Rotted before, but light years different game than what I played, and still different from what you played in 2000. Blocked by Klein along with Wes Smith. I'm very impressed with Klein, but also
size, certainly.
And USC doing exactly what we mentioned a few moments ago, putting some pressure on the Bruins now. 21-19, their lead was 6. So after the discussion, the ball is going to stay with USC, and it's 21-20.
I like this from Coach Hawks, though, to not challenge and further prolong.
UCLA at one point had a very comfortable lead at 18-12. Good block.
How about the help there from Blanchett?
One ranked number 5. They split the 2 meetings last year. Perfect pass. Kelly, almost an unstoppable back row combination. Very easy serve, not to the libero, but easy and high off the block and out of bounds. Klein now with 22 kills. Blanchett. Kelly, dug by Dykstra. That's dig number 16. Must have for UCLA. Thorne. Very easy serve, and you're going to pay the price. That serve just too easy. Credit to both teams. 10 kills for Smith. That ball might have been out of bounds. Long Diallo. Wonderful, aggressive, gutsy choice by Andrew Rowan.
Yeah.
Well done by Dykstra. And that's off the block and out of bounds.
That's the first time that the first set point hasn't been put away by the set.
Rama able to broad jump that one through, but the serve once again forced the 15-point tiebreaker. Boy, high toss.
I'm pretty confident he immediately went to that challenge card. That ball was not quickly hit.
USC challenging the ball was in.
Blocked his position pretty well. Rama. No setter on the floor.
I don't agree with that assessment either.
Middle again. Blocking down and another set point. Beautiful pass by Rama. Tucked inside by Klein. May for the national championship. Set point. Oh boy. Blocked by Thorne out of the middle. It's an additional challenge. Cam Thorne, yeah, I knew that was coming. You got to reward the middle blocker after he stuffed set point. And Andrew Rowan smartly set the service rotation twice. Good touch by Connolly, and back to Thorne. Quick early lead by Andrew Rowan and USC. Good point.
Responded very well with a couple kills and that deciding stuff.
Off the tape and down for Rowan. Second eight. Tossed way into the court. Pretty well handled by Dykstra. Klein. He is blocked. 3 big Bruins. You know, I mentioned it being the 5th set. What we all want, what everybody wants is close sets. Klein running that down, and we've had exactly that. 25-23, 25-22, 28-26. Off the block and down. Dug by Connolly, but you can't chase that one down. UCLA. Can't have that. 6-1, UCLA leads it. USC has used a timeout. They will get another break. Here's Rama. That ball's down. Not intentionally off speed, but out of necessity.
Out of necessity. And
19 kills on 36 swings. And a very clean card. Decker off the block and out of bounds. 1 point away from the side change.
offense stays balanced.
Middle blockers exchanging serves way too short. UCLA, perfect 4 for 4 offensively so far in this fifth set. Klein. Ace serve.
A little bit of a jump start there for the Trojans.
Yeah, the biggest lead for the Bruins was 18-12 before the Trojans came back to tie it at 21. Chance for the Trojans.
That line to me.
Yeah. One against this block and defense. Decker misses that ball over the end line, but certainly some margin for error, so you can take some more chances. Connolly, perfect execution. It's a tough chance. Smart shot to recycle the point. Bruins going to earn a free ball out of it. Good run by Connolly. Here's Kelly. Perfect pass by Dykstra. Good response by the Trojans. Still plenty of time. Awful lot.
Yeah, he's awesome volleyball player. Better dude.
Bruins. Cam Thorne off LaFiero. Combination.
Just keeping the pressure on the Trojans.
Roll out of the middle. Not going away quietly, Tompkinson. You look at the set scores. 25. Got to take a chance. I mean, down by this much, and now a handful and then some of match points. Remember I mentioned Andrew Rowan, first server for UCLA. Rowan already with 2 aces on the night, and he was going for it.
That blocking move.
Another match point. Sean Kelly. A new career high, 21 kills. And USC, what will they